Dear International Program students, welcome to English Reading and Writing. My hope is that by the end of this course, you have a new appreciation for the subject matter and will continue your education in the subject. My name is Jem Harold Villarte, and I will be your teacher for this school year 2020. I am looking forward to the opportunity we will have to learn and grow together in this course. As you know, as the beginning of this school year, we will be utilizing online platform to facilitate your learning while staying home safe. You can access the course by visiting the official school website and logging in with your student identification details. If you have difficulty with your login, you can contact us, your teachers, via line group chat. Success in an online class requires just as much work and effort as success in a traditional classroom. The amount of time you expect to commit to the class in any given week will vary, but will probably be equivalent to the required amount of learning you ought to acquire in this course. For the meantime, this is a fully online course, so there will be no required campus visits. Furthermore, virtual class discussions will be available as well based on the scheduled availability of everyone to be set in our line group chat discussions. As you get ready to begin the course, it might be a good idea to make yourself away from distractions and take your pens, notepads with you as we start this online class. Last but not the least, please contact me if you have questions about the course. Best way to do this is to message me in my Facebook page, The Professor, and I will send you a response in no time. This is your teacher, Sir Jem Harold Villarte. The description of this course aims to development of communication skills in English for academic and professional purposes. Furthermore, to acquire reading and thinking strategies across text types, texts such as organizing and developing an essay, writing a descriptive essay, writing a narrative essay and varying sentence patterns, writing a compare and contrast essay, writing a cause and effect essay, writing a summary, writing an opinion essay, and writing a persuasive essay integrating through context connections, critical reading skills, proposal writing in disciplines and for professional use. These are just some of the things that we are going to learn in this course. Now, these are the contents that we are going to discuss in this first lesson. 1. Nature of a story. 2. Elements of a story. 3. Performance task number 1. And quiz number 1. Part 1. Nature of a story. Let me ask you about your childhood fantasy. Who is your favorite cartoon or fairy tale character? Any cartoon or fairy tale characters like Snow White, Snoopy, Garfield, fairy tale characters such as Cinderella. And what is your unforgettable movie you have watched? Any movies that you cannot forget, that you have watched like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or can be just the recent one. That leads us to the first part of our discussion, the elements of a short story. We will be discussing the nature of the story, elements of a short story. First one, the characteristics of a short story. Short stories tend to be less complex than novels. Short story will focus on only one incident. Short story has only one single plot, a single setting, a limited number of characters, and covers a short period of time. Compared to novels, Short stories only covering only a short period of time and focusing only to a certain situation happened in a story. However, a novel consists of so many characters, so many it expands to not just only one time but also expanding towards several years that the characters may exist. What are the story elements? A good story contains several key ingredients. First one, the characters, setting, problem, and the solution. The characters. Characters are the people, animals, or things the story is about. Setting. The setting is where and when the story takes place. Problem. Problems are things that happen to the main character that changes the story. Conflict. Conflict is essential to the plot. Without conflict, there is no plot. So we have two types of conflict. First one is external conflict. External conflict is a struggle with a force outside of oneself. The next one is internal conflict. It's a struggle within oneself. A person must make some decision, overcome pain, resist an urge, and etc. For example, man versus man. Physical conflict. The leading character struggles with his physical strength against other men, forces of nature, and animals. So this conflict is called man versus man. The next one is man versus circumstance. This is a classical type of conflict. In this conflict, characters struggle against fate or circumstances of life facing him. The next one is man versus society. Man versus society is a type of conflict that the characters in the story is experiencing a conflict in a social state. The leading character struggles against ideas, practices, or customs of other people. That's man versus society. Next, man versus nature. As you can see in the following pictures, these characters in the story are experiencing different struggles against the nature. You can think about lots of movies about this conflict. Next conflict is man versus himself. This conflict is quite psychosocial, or it happens within the character himself. The leading character struggles with himself, within his own soul, ideas of right or wrong, physical limitations, choices, and etc. The next is resolution. Resolution is the solution on how the problem is being solved in the story. How the characters solve the problem. We have the theme, the meaning of the story. That's the theme. Or the main idea the story wants to convey or tell to its readers. Example: love is blind. Believe in yourself. People are afraid of change. Or seize the day. These are just samples of a theme. And a theme is the central idea of the story, wherein in these statements or in this theme, everything that happens within the characters, events, and conflicts within the story revolves in this central idea. So that's the theme. Now let's go to your performance task or your mini performance task. So this is your performance task sample. You're going to make a story element posters using any stories or any movies that you have watched recently, showcasing the sequence, the setting, the characters, conflict, and the solution in the story. Activity number 1. Read, set, show. Directions: choose a story you just read or watched. You read from the book, you watched from a movie or a TV series, and come up with a story synopsis, highlighting the elements of a story: setting, characters, problem, conflict, solution, and the theme. Present the synopsis through a poster. Be creative. Submission will be next meeting. So these are the following that I am going to rate. Number 1, preparedness. 2, content. 3, enthusiasm. 4, presentation. 5, overall impact. Total score 30 points. Thank you for listening, and prepare for your quiz 1 next meeting.